Cosplay Stitch and Seam. I'm Pannon.
And I'm David.
Well, that's weirdly short from our usual. We're missing a Mercedes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mercedes had been caught up with some personal stuff, so we'll not be making it this episode. Now it'll be my turn to take the next step out because you were out for our Kamui episode, Pannon.
I know. I had a hard time recovering from this surgery, so I was so sad I missed the Kamui episode.
We missed you. We missed you. It would have been really awe-inspiring to watch two of the cosplayers that I've admired for such a long time. Just being like, oh my gosh, my heroes are meeting each other.
Oh, that would be pretty funny. Well, so if our announcements are a little stilted today, it's just because we're missing our third in the triumph. What would you call it? A triumvirate?
Yeah, a triumvirate. A ruling of 3 individual leaders. Yeah.
Excellent.
I learned that word from the Sandman.
Nice. Oh, I need to watch that. I'm so excited. It's out on Netflix, but I didn't want to watch it without Livy.
It's good.
Anyway, you guys at home, if you want to tell us, what are you watching right now? What are you excited about? What are you cosplaying? You can do that at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com
or go to our website, cosplaystitchandseam.com. We have an official form where it's a contact us. Fill that out. Let us know what you're thinking, what your thoughts are. Or you can also go to the Facebook page. Yeah. Visit us there. Let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear what you're working on. We have a fantastic community that loves to see what you are working on as well. And if you're on the internet and you want to help out the show, I forgot to mention the Discord. Go join the Discord as well. We have a whole channel just for TV shows.
And podcasts now.
So tell us what other podcasts that you're enjoying listening to. I always am hungry for more podcasts. And while you're on Facebook, join our community. Tell us what you're working on. And while you're on the internet, let us know what you think of the show by going and leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever they let you. Anywhere that helps boost the algorithm in our favor, we greatly appreciate. And if you have a few bucks laying around, we greatly appreciate you sending that our way to our coffee, KOFI, Cosplay Stitch, as well as our Patreon, patreon.com/Cosplay Stitch. For $3 a month, we give you a shout out every single episode. And for $5 a month, you get to join us for our live D&D Cosplay Chronicles game. Woo! We just did a session yesterday at the time of this recording, and my gosh, I love our table so much. Just, it's so wholesome. It's so fun. We get to have fun, silly moments playing with each other, and then good, serious moments where I could just look at my players and say, I'm proud of you. You did a good job.
It's definitely the con experience, but with D&D.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Amazing. Well, if you'd like to help out another amazing cosplayer, there is a website for you. It's foxbeauty.store. They sell all kinds of cosplay and just regular everyday makeup that you may enjoy. You can use their promo code Stitch and Seam to get 10% off your purchase of all vegan, not tested on animal products.
Woo!
Excited to be continuing our Sailor Moon Fandom feature this episode. Our next guest is Tia, and I'm going to let her introduce a little bit about herself. Tell us what got you into cosplay, how long you've been at it, and all that fun stuff.
Well, I've always kind of been into costumes in general. Halloween was my favorite holiday as a kid and all that stuff. And then when I got into the fandom thing, I started seeing people who did this for fun. And was like, oh, I can do this outside of Halloween. And I started, kind of creeping on people online who were doing it. And I did a few little, I did a Hogwarts uniform. I made a Gur hoodie back in the Invader Zim days.
Oh, yeah.
And I was kind of making little forays into it, but I really got started when I started attending conventions. So, back in the live journal roleplay days of the early 2000s.
Wow. I was there.
You were there. Yeah. This was back. We started going to Nandescon in first year I did it. I think it was 2007, 2008. Wow, I'm dating myself. So we would go to these conventions to meet up and be nerdy together, and I was seeing all these people wearing cool costumes, and I'm like, man, I want to do that too. So Let's see if I think about it. Yeah. Oh, 2008. That's the first time I actually tried we'll call it a real finger quotes cosplay. In 2008 NandisCon, I dressed as Elle because everyone has the period where you do, the costume that everyone else is doing because it's cool.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't terrible. I mean, I had a real wig and it was not like, Halloween store $3 wig that shines in the sunlight. But it was a try, and I had so much fun. Like, everybody was reacting to it and interacting with me, and I was like, okay, I want to do this for realsies. So I got together, I was like talking to you and my other cosplay friends, and I made for 2009. The first real costumes I did were The Undertaker from, we'll call it Black Butler because I don't want to mispronounce it, and Tsukasa from Dot Hack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are my first two real costumes. I took them to NDK that year, 2009, and that was the first year I really did it. And it was so much fun. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Yeah, well, okay, so I don't know if you've mentioned Sari on the podcast before, but she's a mutual friend of ours, me and Pannon. And she's also a cosplayer. She's one of the people who really helped me out with the beginning stages. And she's like, hey, one of my friends wants to do a photo shoot. Why don't you come and, we'll take some pictures. And it turned out to be Eurobeat King. And I was like, oh, yes. Yeah, casual photo shoot with like one of the most well-known cosplay photographers at the time. No big deal.
No
big
deal.
It was so cool. Yeah,
man,
so
I have so many photos I would never have had photos of because of Eurobeat King. Like,
I know.
I love that he just takes photos at cons. He does photo shoots, but he also just would take photos all throughout the hallways and whatnot. And that's how I kept pictures in the first few years I did cosplay, because I didn't think to do photo shoots. I would just look for pictures after the con and be like, oh, there was a picture of me.
Oh, look, someone caught me in the hallway. That's neat. Yeah.
I think for me, I've never really had someone took a picture of my cosplay. I think the biggest one that I had was for FanX when it was Salt Lake Comic Con. They had this event where you could pay for an hour training with the lightsaber choreographer for the prequel series.
That is awesome.
And they snapped my picture when I have one of those bamboo kendo swords.
Oh,
and,
heck yeah.
It's this great action pose for me. It was on my Twitter page for forever.
Nice.
And
that sounds amazing.
If you Googled my name for a while, that was the main photo you found. I didn't even get tagged in it. I don't know how I found it even, but I remember oh wow, that's a great photo of me. I'm stealing that. That's good.
Excellent. Oh, that's awesome. So Tia, is there anywhere we can follow you online, or are you doing any projects right now?
Most of what I've been doing is just private. I do a lot of crocheting. I've done some cross stitch stuff, but I'm mostly active on Tumblr these days. So you can find me there at Ramavoite, if you can spell it. It's Ramavoite.
Yeah, I follow you there.
Yeah, you follow me there. So you can go see all the weird random stuff I keep reblogging. So
it's pretty fun.
There's lots of cats if you like cats.
Who doesn't?
I mean, come on.
What monster?
It's the internet.
So, getting into the meat of our episode, going to switch gears to talk about specifically Sailor Moon. And I know you've done some Sailor Moon cosplay. What was the first one you ever did?
I think the first one I ever actually completed was Prince Demond. We had a group at NDK in 2012. We did a Sailor Moon group, and so I did that one. It was mostly musical inspired, so it had lots of sequins and stuff on it because I like sparkle. I had made a few starts before on different costumes, but I never finished them. So that was probably the first one I ever actually finished.
And most recent?
I've been thinking about that. I think the most recent one was probably the poodle skirt version of Sailor Pluto.
Oh, those were so fun.
I think it would have been 2018?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there? Somewhere like that, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't
really
the last
ALA before pandemic, but it was getting close there.
It was pretty close to it. Yeah, I really wish I had a photo of that because it's adorable. I have to break it out and bring it to ALA again next year or something. So.
Oh, definitely. That would be super cute. Nice. Do you have any plans for a new one, or do you have like a dream Sailor Moon cosplay you'd love to do?
Oh man, I have so many plans. I was cleaning out my sewing room last month, and I found the box where I stashed the pieces of the Bloody Dracula vampire costume.
I was going to say this one.
I found it, and I can see why. Okay, so I started making it. I got really frustrated, shoved it in a box, and didn't see it again for like, what, it's been like 8 years now.
Oh.
And
don't remind me of time.
yeah, I pulled out the pieces, and I was using like some of the worst fabrics you can imagine. It was like this really cheap, like Fashion District velvet stuff, and it basically crumbled in my hands.
Oh, dang.
So I'm like, I can see why I got frustrated and gave up. I really want to try this again with the real fabric because I love that costume.
Yeah. And for the uninitiated, do you mind telling us a little bit about the character and where they're from?
Oh, yeah, that's from the musicals. I love the musicals. They're ridiculous. There's this arc in the musicals. It was an original story arc in which they run into Count Dracula. And vampire shenanigans happen. What? And Dracula has a half-vampire daughter named Bloody Dracula Vampire. What? And she has this amazing cloak that basically looks like stained glass on the edges.
It's really cool looking.
It's really cool.
I'm so sorry. First you throw at me there's a musical Sailor Moon series.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I will send you links, my friend. You need to see these. They are amazing.
And then you tell me that there's a Dracula story arc with a half vampire. It's too much. It's too much.
You want something even better? Something even better?
Is it Tuxedo Mask in the referee costume?
No, the guy who plays Dracula in those musicals was the guy in the red Power Rangers suit in the 90s.
Don't do this to me.
What?
That's amazing.
He's amazing. He is absolutely amazing.
Okay, all right. I'm just gonna need a minute. You guys go on. I'll be here.
You'll be okay. I will keep going on my list of dreams because I have so many that I want to do.
Yeah,
I also want to do another one from the musicals. Usagi has this song called "Knocking Down Hesitation," which she performs with the Three Lights as backup dancers, and the costume is hideous. And I love it so much. It involves like a plastic visor and like...
Oh, that one!
Yeah, like the duster that looks like it's made of aluminum foil.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yes, I love it. I want to make it so much. I also want to do Princess Kaki one of these days.
Oh, I love her.
My really big thing is like the redesign. I like the fan art stuff, like the ones where they're all D&D characters or witches or whatever.
Those are so cute.
I have so many fan arts that I have saved that I'm like, I want to make a cosplay of this. It's so cute.
Right?
But my absolute dream is getting a group together to do Sailor War Supreme on stage. This is one of the big battle songs from the musicals, and so it's all of the Sailor Senshi, including the Starlights, including Sailor Galaxia and Chibiusa at the end. It would be a lot of people and a lot of elaborate costumes because it's the musical, so they're fancy. But, oh man, that would be so cool.
That would be really amazing.
That would be so much fun. Yeah, that's my big dream right there.
Oh man. Love it. So since Sailor Moon has been around now for like over 25 years, it has manga, it has anime, children's books, we talked about the musicals, it has new anime, video games. So tell us why you're a fan.
Okay, first of all, pedantic fact check. It's been around for 30 years.
Okay.
The first issue of Nakayoshi that had the manga in it was in December of 1991. So,
oh dang.
Yeah, I'm feeling really old this year, so I had to spread that.
I did see that come up the other day. They were like the 30th anniversary, like cute compact, and I was like, "What?
Why is it the 30th anniversary?" There's a 30th anniversary musical this year, and I'm like, I can't do this. Anyway, yes. Why am I a fan? I was introduced to it completely by accident. This was way back in the good old days of 1996. So a local university did like a science fiction fantasy thing where they would bring in, authors and talk about like educational stuff about sci-fi fantasy. But they also had a little viewing room where they would show like old sci-fi movies and weird stuff and anime. And at one point I wandered in because they were showing, I think it was probably Macross or something like that. It looked like, giant robots. And it was really familiar because I'd watched that kind of thing in the 80s as a kid.
Mhm.
And I went, this is cool. What's in here? And I sat down. And the guy running the room pulls out a tape and is like, should we watch this? And I couldn't see what it was, but everybody else in the room starts groaning. And I was like, what is happening? And the guy sitting by me leans over and goes, I give it 30 seconds before everybody runs out screaming. And I'm going, okay, what am I doing here? He puts the tape in. It's the Sailor Moon R movie.
I love that one.
And subbed. So it's in Japanese. And it starts out with that intro where it's the cutesy music and the, hi, I'm Usagi, I'm a crybaby, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going, this is amazing. So yeah, I sat through that whole thing just like completely enraptured. Just like, this is my childhood. This is beautiful. This is amazing. And then, so like later in the day, the guy running the room, it was empty. And he's like, do you have anything else you want to watch? And I was like, do you have any more of that thing you showed earlier? And so he puts in the Sailor Moon S movie.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And I was completely hooked. Just from that moment on, I was like, what is this? I need more of it. This is amazing.
Yes.
So,
I mean, Moon Revenge slaps so hard. I love Moon Revenge in Sailor Moon R.
Oh my gosh, I will still cry every time I watch that part. Seriously.
So good.
Yeah, but it just basically hit me in all of my, these are my things. These are, I want this, I want this, I want this. It was like, I grew up with the stories, like the Voltron and the I don't know, Ninja Turtles, whatever, where it's a team of guys and there's the one token girl that they have to protect. And this inverted that. It was like this team of girls who were like, they're teenagers, they have teenage problems, but they're awesome. And then there's this one dude who shows up and buffs and then leaves.
Yeah.
It's a great way of describing Tuxedo Mask for sure.
He comes in, he casts Bless, and everyone else kills the monster.
Is it even Bless? Sometimes it just feels like inspiration.
Yeah. He'll give him inspiration. He'll do something, clericy, a little boost. Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was amazing, and I got obsessed, and that's where I found the internet shortly after and got more information on it, and I have been rabidly obsessed for the last. I'm not even do the math. I don't want to know how long it's been, but since then.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Excellent. So as we were saying, they're celebrating 30th anniversary and all these things this year. But the fact that it's made it this long and is still considered such a classic, why do you think it has such staying power? What's made it still such a popular fandom?
I think a lot of it is it's speaking to, the classic themes of, love and friendship and hope and holding together. It's, at its base, it's a silly kid show, but it has heart. It has a lot of meaning to it, where the characters aren't, Usagi isn't the strongest. She isn't the most talented. She doesn't spend 3 episodes powering up and blow away a solar system. She gets to be sad. She gets to cry and say, I'm scared. This is terrifying. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And then she gets up and she fights. She keeps going. And it's like everybody, they have the friendship, they have the unity, they have they love each other. The villains are human. Well, most of them, they have a lot of humanity to them. They have understandable motives. It's not like, I'm going to blow up the world because I can blow up the world because I'm a jerk. It's like, I want to blow up the world because, everybody left me alone and I'm sad and lonely and I want everybody else to feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
There's meaning to this. You can empathize with it, and it's not just, popcorn, watch it, go home, and you're done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that answer. That's great.
Yay!
On that same note, what do you think keeps people in the fandom? Like, we have all the new iterations of Sailor Moon coming out that can help draw in new fans. What do you think keeps people in it?
Well, I think a lot of it is actually the new iterations of it. It is in itself a transformative series where, you have all these different versions of it. You have the original manga, you have the 90s anime, you have the live action series, you have the musicals, you have so many different versions, and each one puts their own spin on it.
Mhm.
Like, the manga and the anime are not quite the same thing. They follow the same idea, but there are storyline differences. I mean, a lot of it is because the manga was on a slower release schedule than the anime, so they had to make stuff up.
Sure.
But there's differences between them. And then there's the live action series, which started out as a faithful rehash of the manga, and then it went places. It went places, and it was glorious. I mean, it was amazing. And so basically, you've got this series that's reinventing itself every few years and saying, look what we can do. We can take this story that is at its core, these characters and these themes, and we can make it different. And, like every fanfic writer out there is like pumping their fist in the air going, yes, that's what we've been saying the whole time. But it's telling everybody, you love the series. Let's explore all the different ways that you can love it. And so every time you kind of get tired of it, something new comes out. Like, I mean, when I was first starting in the fandom, there was just the manga and the anime.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fascinating. But after a few years, I was like, maybe I'll move on to something else. There's, Cardcaptor Sakura. But then the live action series came out, and it was just like instantly, ooh, this is new and fun. And then I got into the musicals, and then I got into other stuff. And then, Viz comes out with their new dub. Kodansha starts re-releasing the manga. You get the really, really pretty new releases.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's constantly reinventing itself in some ways. And it's something new all the time. So it's not like we release this one series and then we're going to sit on our laurels for the next 30 years. It's that we're going to keep doing stuff. I wish they would do more of that, honestly. I mean, well, like the first 2 seasons of Crystal were rough in a lot of ways. And that you could see where they're trying to do that same thing. And then once they got to season 3, it got really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I don't know, it just there's something new all the time for people. And it's just, everybody is there's so many people rediscovering it constantly.
Yeah.
There's always new fans. There's always new people coming in and going, oh, I haven't seen this before. Tell me why you love it. And I'll be like, sit down. We're going to have a chat.
How much time do you have?
Yes.
Excellent.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's?
I would totally do that.
Yes, good. So Tia, who is your favorite Sailor Moon character?
Okay, well, if we're going to get really old school, back in alt fan Sailor Moon in the 90s, during the Otaku Wars, I was a Neutralian. So I think they're all equally awesome.
Wait a minute. Roll this back for me. Neutralian?
Yes. It was kind of like this group fanfic going on the news group, where everybody had a faction and then they would fight over their favorite senshi. And I was a Neutralian.
Okay.
And we won't get too much into this because alt fan Sailor Moon was a very strange place and I was a teenager. But honestly, I would have to pick Sailor Pluto if I had to pick one. I mean, first of all, I love the design. I love the giant key. The giant key is amazing. I have made the giant key and I love it. But I also got into the series during, my emo college years. And so I had this whole identifying with the lonely, powerful senshi by herself. Oh, she has to be, alone and dramatic and her hair blows in the wind. And I identify with this because, this is my thing. And so it kind of connected with me. And I've always really liked Pluto a lot, even though her wig is obnoxious.
Oh, any long wigs are just...
Yeah, I have nightmares of... Yeah, when I did the poodle skirt Pluto, I got tangled in that wig for a while, and it was not happy.
Oh, no.
But anyway, cosplay flashbacks.
I know, right? Fair. Do you have, like, a favorite, we'll say, like, episode, chapter, or just, like, a moment in the story that you really enjoy?
my favorite moments are always when you have one of the let's unite everybody's powers moments where it's like the reveal of the Grail or the princesses in Eternal where everybody goes poof, power up. I mean, my first exposure to the series was the R movie and Moon Revenge and,
yes.
insert ugly cry here. That was just such a powerful sequence where it's like everybody comes together and everybody is united and we're going to persevere in the face of terrible odds, but we're together and we're going to make it together. And I love it.
Yes.
I'm just going to fangirl all over this microphone for a minute, okay?
Okay. I mean, I got into Sailor Moon back on the pink VHS Deke dubs.
Oh man.
But still one of the iconic moments to me is when they're fighting Queen Beryl at the end of the first season and it's down to just Sailor Moon in her princess dress, but she still unites with the spirit of her friends around her, and I just wept because
where you have the little ghost hands just reach out and rest on her hand, and I'm just like, ooh. Yeah,
so good.
I have a lot of issues with the Deke dub, but Carry On,
oh my gosh,
the best thing that ever happened to the series.
Yes, I was so excited. I was so excited. Can I tell you, I'm going to make a tangent here just because it fulfilled a little, weeby childhood dream of mine. So the lady who sings the songs from Sailor Moon, I got to meet her at a convention once because we were both guests at the same time. And she asked me later on, because she knew that I did cosplay and clothing and stuff. She was like, would you make a jacket for me to wear when I perform at conventions that is Sailor Moon themed, that looks like her Fuku? And I was like, will I? So if you see her in a cute jacket that looks like a Fuku, I was so excited because I got to make that.
I will have to look this up because that sounds incredible.
I'll send you pictures. I saved them.
Please do. Please do.
But yeah, I listened to those, even though it was the cheesy, kidified dub. Yeah. I listened to those CDs into the ground. I love them
still
so
have
much.
Them. They are about 10 feet away from me right at this moment. I'm just saying.
I brought them so she could sign them, and I was just I have had these since I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway. Sorry, it just struck a chord, and I was
no, that's amazing.
So speaking of some of our favorite things within the fandom, what's your favorite or most precious piece of merch that you own? Or if you like making things within fandom, like fanfic, fan art, etc., what's your proudest fandom creation?
Well, sadly, I'm not much of a collector because a lot of my merch I had to sell off to pay rent in the early 2000s. So
that hurts.
It hurts so bad thinking back now. I had so much of the, the little toys that they sold at the KB.
Oh, yeah.
I had a whole bunch of them. I had to sell them, and I'm still sad about that 20 years later.
Yeah.
My biggest contribution, I think, that I'm proud of is a lot of the stuff on Wikimoon. Mm-hmm. I wrote so many episode summaries for the wiki. I think all of the live action episodes, several musicals, most of Crystal. Yeah, I have written so many episodes summaries for that site. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge because I've referenced a lot of them before.
Really?
when I've been writing fanfic or doing in my live journal days when I played some of the Sailor Moon characters. I would use Wikimoon to go look up I can't remember what happened in this episode, but I remember that something, and yeah, it is a huge resource, and that's kind of amazing that you contributed so much to it.
I spent way too much time on that website.
Do you have a I guess the nerdiest Sailor Moon related fandom confession you have? I mean, Wikimoon's pretty nerdy.
Yes, that is definitely there. Okay, okay. So when I did NaNoWriMo for the first time, I wrote a Sailor Moon fanfiction in which the Black Moon went back in time to before Usagi became Sailor Moon. They killed Mamoru, and Prince Damon took his place. And basically, I rewrote the first season from that point on. It ended up being 96,000 words long.
Woof.
Wow.
And it was lost when my laptop crashed.
No.
Someday I want to rewrite it because I really liked the concept and playing with it, and it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of issues with it because it was my first big fanfic. But yes, and I also have fanfic on AO3. If you look up, it's Lanyare. So yeah, I am on AO3 at Lanyare, Lanyare. And you can find some of my old Sailor Moon fanfic. I used to do a role play with some friends where we had a modern version of basically everybody came back to life after the end of the first season and they're interacting with each other. And so I wrote a Silver Millennium fic that was like the background story for that. It's called To Whom We Are Bound. And it's not the best work I've ever done, but yeah, if you want some really weird Sailor Moon fic, it's right there for you. It's 50,000 words long.
Aw, Tia, your writing is amazing. Thank you for sharing those. That is definitely some things y'all should check out.
This is my nerdity.
Good. That's what we want. That's what we're here for.
Yay.
So last question we've been asking within our fandom feature is, what about the series Sailor Moon has stuck with you or changed you as a person?
Okay, I gotta say it. It's the friendships we made along the way. I mean, it is the theme of the show, so it does fit. But honestly, I mean, the connections that I made back in, the news group days, the message board days, the live journal roleplay days, I have made so many friends online because of Sailor Moon and the fandom and connecting with other people who like the same things. I've had so many opportunities and, just friendships that have meant a lot to me. So I think that's really been the lasting impact on my life is every connection that I've made because of it. I mean, also it's really cool and I've made some really cool costumes because of it. But yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest impact I'm gonna take from it.
I think that is an excellent one. So we like to end our episodes with some cosplay horror stories. Or in the case of these fandom ones, if you have one within the fandom you want to share. Do you have one that you want to share with us? The Prince Damon costume was a horror story in itself through a lot of the construction. It's white satin, okay? And it's a pain. And there was one point where I was like, I need to hem these pants. And there's nobody to help me pin them. So I'll just, pin them and then put them on and then see if I have to adjust it. And it'll take a little bit longer, but I don't have to wait for someone to come over and help me out. And I had pinned it so that the pins were pointing up. No!
And I went to put my leg into the pants and I lost my balance and put my foot right through every pin at the base of
the Sarlacc pit.
It was basically, that's basically what it was. And then I learned how to get blood out of white satin.
New skill unlocked.
Injury.
It worked really well. Hydrogen peroxide is an amazing thing. I'm just saying. See, for you cosplayers out there, hydrogen peroxide gets blood out of stuff really well if it's still wet.
Amazing.
This feels like cursed knowledge in a sense of like, we shouldn't know this as easily as we do at this point in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, if you want another story that's a little bit less painful, it's not Sailor Moon related, but
go for it.
When I graduated from college, my mother asked me what I wanted. And I told her I wanted, you remember Ever After?
Yes.
The movie?
Oh, my mom loves that
They
movie.
had those tie-in patterns. And I was like, okay, Mom, you have a sewing machine. Can you make me this pattern for me to wear to graduation? My mother is not the most skilled seamstress in the world. And she also is one of those people who thinks that if anything is form-fitting, it's immodest.
Oh no.
So she made this dress 2 sizes too large so it wouldn't be too tight.
No.
So I put this on, put my graduation gown over it, and as I'm sitting down during the ceremony, I feel this dress start sliding off my shoulders.
Oh no.
And I have to lean over to my friend sitting next to me. I'm like, can you shield me after the ceremony so I can get this gown off without flashing the entire audience with my beautiful replica Renaissance dress?
Wow.
Oh
So,
no.
It was like the saddest costume malfunction I have ever had in my life.
Oh, sad.
Luckily, people holding graduation gowns in a circle around you makes a really effective shield. If you know,
That's true. That's true.
that was if it had to happen, at least it was there, not like on stage at a masquerade or something.
Wow. Woof.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like you should do a remake because like that Ever After gown, the one when she's at the like Cinderella ball.
Oh man, yeah.
That is like one of my dream costumes.
I love that dress so much.
There's finally like pictures of it when it was displayed in a
Yeah.
museum. And yeah, I'm just saying I have a lot of reference pictures if you ever want to give that another shot.
Well, just my Sailor Moon list is extensive, so we'll see.
Fair,
but yeah.
Fair. Thank you for being on the show, Tia. Do you have any social media or other projects that you want to let us know about before we end up?
I just want to say if anybody wants to help out with Wikimoon, it always can use more editors, and it is, I'm not biased here, it is a far superior wiki because it doesn't have 5 billion ads on it like the Fandom.com one. There's a lot of work into that one, so I feel bad ripping on it, but at the same time, I really hate the Fandom.com hosted wikis because they're just ads everywhere. So yes, please come help us at Wikimoon. We could use more stuff.
Yeah.
And also, I work for Anime Los Angeles in the publications division. So if anybody wants to volunteer to staff at Anime Los Angeles, it is a fun and awesome convention. So even if you don't want staff, just come. We love you. It's
a
amazing.
good con. Yeah. I'm not biased, but
No,
I've yet
we're
to
not
go to that
biased at all.
one. Like it's a high on my list, but I've yet to go to that one.
It's so much fun.
It is a great cosplay con. It has honestly the best masquerade that I've ever been in or watched, and I'm not saying that because of you, Pennon. It is amazing.
It was run amazingly before I ever touched it,
yes.
And I would totally agree with that. So
it has the best green room of any competition ever. If you just want to go and make friends with other cosplayers, enter the cosplay contest, and you get to hang out with the best people ever backstage and have a great time. So that right there is worth it.
Excellent. Well, if y'all have any horror stories you'd like to share with us, or if you want to tell us about a fandom you'd like to see featured, you can email us at cosplaystitchandseam@gmail.com or
go to our website and fill out I'm going to call it the doobly doobly form on our contact page. Take that, Mercedes. And while you're on the, and also you can go to the Facebook page. I got to keep up that energy. I'm so out of whack with it. You got to go to the Facebook page and let us know what you are working on. Let our community know what you are working on. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to them. They want to help you. We want to help you. We want to see everyone grow and do amazing. And if you're not a big fan of Facebook, you can also go to the Discord. There is a link for it on our website. So make sure you go to cosplaystitchandseam.com. And while you're on the internet, if you want to help out the show, there are many different ways that you can do that. Tell a friend, share the podcast with anybody. We don't pay to advertise. All of it is word of mouth. And if you have a few minutes of your time, if you want to leave us a review on any application that lets you leave a rating or a review, if you can do both, that's even better. And of course, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/cosplaystitch. Some of the amazing people that we need to thank. A newcomer, Tim Yauk.
Woo, welcome.
Foxchild, Troft Cause, Lydia, Rose Does, Livy Cheney, Yggdrasil, Dr. Steggy, PB and James, Cynics, Hot Riku, Renamira, Jazzy Kofed, Jaguar Quinn, Gloria Shu, Sudi, Shock H, and Silver Deeds.
Woo! Thank you guys so much. If y'all want to check out another great cosplayer, you can always go to foxbeauty.store. That's Fox with 2 X's, beauty.store. Use the promo code Stitch and Seam. to get 10% off your purchase of all vegan, not tested on animal products. Thanks as always to Macy Roberts for the use of her music as our theme song, and David Jeffress for his amazing editing, which is a lot this episode. I'm sorry, David.
Sorry, David, to myself.
How are your podcasts going, David?
It's still editing as well. They are going really well. If you enjoy comic books and wanting to talk about like the long form of it, we just finished talking about Brandon Sanderson's Dark One. Did have some feels about that one. But next month, for the month of September, I know my months, we are going to be talking about Tresse, which is actually just started a Netflix series. So if you enjoy like the Dresden Files, but you've always wanted a femme character lead, and maybe not necessarily always white people mythologies, maybe that's a good one to go check out.
Ooh.
And also, of course, The Last Voice. We even started a Last Voice channel on the Discord, so you can go over there and talk about it. I was talking about it with somebody who was like giving it some praise, and I was very, very like very appreciative and very blushy about it. And then they were like, "Oh my gosh, this gave it H.G. Wells vibes," and I was like, "That's one of the highest praises I've ever gotten on it." So go check out The Last Voice while you can.
Oh, that's awesome! Thanks. Let's see. I have to give a shout out this week for puns, because as I was like looking and planning and thinking for Sailor Moon puns, I just kept running into these amazing comics by Cassidy Stone, and they're just like little short blips of Minako going around and riffing with the Sailor Senshi, and so I'm using one of hers today. Do you know how the Man in the Moon cuts his hair?
How does the Man in the Moon cut his hair, Pannon?
Eclipse it.
Oh.
Hey. Bye, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
You get to join us for our live D&D I can't. Sorry, David.
Sorry,
David. Man. It's not often I get to sorry, David, myself.
We've talked a little about sorry, David. Just cut me out. Just cut me out of this episode.
Just the whole episode. Yeah.
Just
okay.
The whole episode. I'm okay.